Welcome all you Plus 2 comedy modifiers to another episode of the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. I'm your host as always, TV's Noah Houlihan, shouting at his camcorder for YouTube, and now shouting into his snowball microphone because Jeff Stormer is a good friend. And before we get to this week's episode of the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast, I gotta tell you about some upcoming shows. We will be at South Jersey Geek Fest. That is going to be from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the 28th of October in Woodbury Heights Community Center. That's 741 Helen Avenue in Woodbury Heights, New Jersey. So please come check out some cosplay pro wrestling at South Jersey Geek Fest. For more information, you can go to sjgeekfest.com. Also, that same very weekend, that's October 27th through the 29th, we will also be appearing at GameCon. Go to the Tropicana Casino and Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and come see us. We'll be hosting the Crystal Awards along with doing a bunch of other fun and silly things at GameCon. For more information, go to GameCon.com. We're also happy to be returning to the Geeky Kink event. So please come see us. We will be doing stand-up comedy. We'll be doing an episode of this very podcast, probably without cameras, because it is a plus 18, very scantily clad type of event. We will also be doing Game the Gamer After Dark and Beyond the Tentacle. So please come see us at the Geeky Kink event. That's November 10th through the 12th at the Radisson of Piscataway. That's 21 Kingsbridge Road in Piscataway, New Jersey. For more information, go to thegeekykinkevent.com. Also, if you would like to sponsor the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast, then please check out our Fiverr store. For just $5, you can make me say pretty much everything and anything. Just keep it clean, guys. All of that information can be found in the links below. And now, without any further ado, take it away.
Who's ready for a podcast? We got some silent approval this week, which is new. Who's here to do other things, currently being annoyed by a podcast? All right, that's fine. This is the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast coming to you live from Gamers Vault. That's 175 Route 70 in Medford, New Jersey. I'm your host, as always, TV's Noah Houlihan, and I am joined by the Waluigi to my Luigi, Mr. Will Liam. How you doing, Will?
No, why? I would be the Wario, if anything.
Okay, I can get behind
You're
that.
Luigi.
That's a weird relationship.
Yeah, we're just kind of like,
fine.
hey, what's up?
How you doing, Will?
I'm doing good.
Good. Our guest this week is a fantastic stand-up comedian and teacher of stand-up comedy. Please give it up for Brad Trackman.
Thank you.
I was just laughing because I thought you were just a teacher. There was a weird pause.
Oh, no.
And it's like, oh, he's a teacher. Cool.
No. He is a stand-up comedian and stand-up comedian teacher.
Yeah, I mean, been a headlining comic for 24 years now.
You could still be a teacher and do that.
But it's hard.
I mean, no, been a full-time headliner comedian. Been on national TV shows such as The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, Gotham Comedy Live, Comics Unleashed with Byron Allen, numerous appearances on Comedy Central, have my own commercial campaign. Right now, like I've told you guys earlier, writing a book with Anthony Cumia from the legendary O&A, Opie and Anthony show. But yeah, I mean, I've been teaching stand-up comedy, started in New York City at the biggest program in the country called the American Comedy Institute. Big program in New York. And
okay. I make that weird noise because I did a stand-up comedy competition, and one of the prizes was a scholarship to the stand-up comedy institute.
That's saving a lot of money, man.
Yeah,
that's a good deal.
I came in second, and I was given a Joan Rivers DVD.
I opened for Joan Rivers.
Oh, really?
I used to open for her, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
She was really, it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I've opened for some cool people. I've opened for Joan. I used to tour with her for like a couple years.
Okay.
I've opened for Dana Carvey. This was great. I opened for Weird Al Yankovic. I used to tour with him.
Really?
Yeah, that was a trip because you're talking, anywhere from probably 2,500 to 5,000 people, depending on the theater or the actual the place that you were doing at the venue. But yeah, I've done some work with Chris
let
Rock.
me ask you about Weird Al for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I actually remember a time I saw Weird Al in concert, and he had a comedian open for him. Wasn't you? And he literally got booed off stage.
I'll be honest with you.
That's going to be a rough crowd, right?
No, I actually really I did so well that he actually took me off the tour. I ended up getting it's funny because when I back in the day I used to wear my glasses on stage, and I used to, I'm really nearsighted. That was like a big thing. Like back, if you see some of my older TV appearances, I was wearing my thick glasses, and when I started working with Al, he took his glasses off. I don't know if you remember. He used to wear glasses. That was his thing. And he took his glasses off, and I went out there, and I don't know what, but I just really connected with his audience and did really. I remember one time I got a standing ovation. They're chanting my name, and that was the last time he ever had me perform for him. That was it. So no, I only had great shows.
You can't
with
have
him.
them chanting your name.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
when Weird Al has to go out there and play his accordion.
I could not get into Weird Al's show. I tried. Every time I ever opened for him, I would get a seat in the audience after my performance. They'd have a seat available to me. Every time I tried, and I just could not get past 2 songs. I'm not into music parody. I'm not into that. I guess I'm a purist when it comes to stand-up, but I'm just not into...
I would never call what Weird Al
You're making
does
a face, like you're making
I
a
would never
face.
call it stand-up
Yeah,
comedy.
like a purist, like you made a face.
I didn't think you meant comedy. I thought you meant purist as in music.
Yeah.
I only like original music, not parody music.
No. I'm
exists.
talking.
He's just writing new words.
There's different types of stand-up.
Yeah.
And there's different types of comedy, and like that. To me, I'm a monologist. I like people that write and do jokes and have an act.
Well,
as
I don't think
opposed
Weird Al presents himself as a comedian.
Yeah,
though.
I
He's a
would never
he
musician.
call him
doesn't.
a
But I mean,
comedian.
it's a comedy performance.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's a funny performance.
Yeah.
But like I'm guessing you don't enjoy any music comedians?
No.
Because I'm kind of I don't really like music comedy, but I enjoy Weird Al just because.
I mean, there's some guitar acts that are they're okay. They're
Yeah.
pretty good. Listen, I'm all for the guy's talented, and it's funny because like Anthony Cumia, that guy who I'm writing this book about, he's really into singing. He started as a vocalist in a band, and he does great impressions, and he can do vocals, and he actually got started. His whole thing was writing a parody on O.J. Simpson, believe it or not. That's how he got in the business. He and his brother.
That was the hot topic for a while.
Yeah, back then. And he had this funny parody. And he was telling me the parody, and it did make me laugh,
Right.
It was a rendition of Otis Redding's, what is it, Sitting on the Dock by the Bay? But it was OJ getting electric shock by the bay. It was very funny. Pretty funny. But I've been doing I do like the here in Medford. I grew up in Medford, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that.
No.
Went
I
to
know your
Shawnee.
Facebook said that you were from here.
Yeah, I grew up here. Most of my adult life, I lived in New York City.
Right.
L.A.
Where the comedy is.
L.A. for a short stint. Then I got married, bought a house in Mount Laurel, which is, as you know, borders right here in Medford.
Yep.
And it's cool, It's nice to be back to the roots,
Yeah.
Are you guys from Medford?
I'm originally from Gloucester,
Sure.
and I recently moved to Mount Laurel. So we're neighbors.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
from Atlantic City.
Oh, nice.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Not
I
anymore.
mean,
It's a terrible place.
it is pretty bad. It is really bad.
It's this close to being a hole in the ground.
Yeah, when I was little, it started bad, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
It's
exist
going to
anymore.
lose city soon.
Yeah.
It's funny, I'm also, and I'm not trying to but it's true. I'm creating reality TV shows. I'm in really, really hooked up with some major production companies. And one of the projects I have in development right now is a show on Atlantic City and the demise of it. It's like almost like a real life Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
And we have some great characters. I mean, we have the Mayor Guardian. He's one of the guys on our show. We have this one guy who is the owner of a strip club. He's the
Which
mayor
one?
of Titty City. He just sold it, but it was Strip Search.
Okay.
Yeah, on New York Avenue.
It's
His
for the
name's
blind
Kobe.
guys.
Kobe Fryer, who was also from Medford. He went to Lenape, but he's from Medford. He just sold the club.
I used to be a bouncer, and I worked at some strip clubs, and I knew guys that worked at a bunch of the other ones.
Sure. But regular at the Borgata. I like the,
Yeah, Borgata's a good place.
Yeah.
That's if you're gonna perform in Atlantic City, that's the place to perform. You know?
Yeah, because it's
Well,
open.
it's the only
Still.
building now, so you have to.
It's true. But
You can go perform in the ocean, but
Yeah.
it's not going to do much.
A lot of
for you.
needles.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant experience for you.
you know, I'm old enough that I remember when Atlantic City was actually nice, like a family
See,
place.
I just missed that. I think
Yeah.
when I
Yeah. I mean, my parents. I have fond memories. I did the boardwalk with the parents and my best friend, and it
that's
was cool.
growing up. It was just like, it used to be so nice, and now
I remember Steel Pier, man. I
Yeah.
remember when there was actually a horse.
The diving horse.
Yeah, I mean that was badass. That was really cool.
Back when you could just abuse an animal for entertainment.
Yeah,
Let's push a horse off a cliff. That'd be great.
and the horse did it
Yeah.
every time.
Every time he circled
Every time.
if it wanted to eat.
One or two
But
electric
but
shocks.
now I'm coming back to Medford, and I'm gonna be teaching a class. They have this new acting studio here. I think
Right.
it's called the Actors House Studio, right on Main Street in Medford, and I'm gonna be offering a class on Tuesday evenings. So that's pretty cool to give back, and I do like teaching. I've had a lot of success. Some of my students, 2 of them have done the Tonight Show, which is pretty impressive, I would say. One of my students just did Stephen Colbert, The Late Show with Stephen
nice.
Colbert.
Cool.
I have hundreds that are working professionally. It's a lot of fun when I get to a point where I'm doing a show and one of my students is opening for me. It trips me out,
Yeah.
you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite student? Pick
Who's
your
my favorite
child.
student? God. That's a tough one, man. I mean, I've got so many. I got this guy, I think one of my favorites isn't even doing stand-up anymore, but we became friends. His name's Marty Regan,
Okay.
and he moved to San Francisco, was doing stand-up out there, actually got him to open for Dana Carvey as well once I developed that relationship. And he just got a great job and just said, screw comedy.
That's a
And
good choice.
Your favorite student is the
Definitely.
one that was smart enough to quit.
Definitely, 1,000,000%. And he's just a great guy. But also, one of his friends that was also one of my favorite students was a guy named Conrad Roth, who is still in the game. I think he just did the Edinburgh Comedy Festival. He's living in New York City now. And he's just really funny. Great guy. But I have a lot of friends. I mean, one
Who's
of
your
the guys.
least favorite student?
I can't do that. I can't do that. You know.
Darn. Almost got
I probably wouldn't even remember
Yeah.
her name. No. I remember this one chick that was a pain in the ass. But no, for the most part, I have a lot of fun with them. You know.
Now, with stand-up comedy, I run an open mic, and so many people jump on stage.
And where is your open mic?
I run it at the Tap Room Bar and Grill in Haddonfield.
Oh, so then must know my students. It's pretty much everybody at that place.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, I
So-
mean,
so
Dave,
now I think I know
Dave
some of your least
Primiano.
favorite
I know
art.
Dave. I see Dave all the time.
Who's the guy? Dave. That's his friend.
Bob DeSantis?
Well, Bob. Yeah, these guys were all in my class. Yeah,
okay.
they all
All
started together. And then the other guy who is just had a baby. Ed.
Neil
Ed.
Neil?
What? Who is it?
Neil Carroll?
Neil Carroll.
Yes.
Great guy. And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
all great guys.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all very, very, very funny.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they're my guys,
Then
man.
Neil had to have a baby.
Yeah, now he's on comedy hiatus.
Yeah.
Oh really? So
Yeah.
that's the best time to do stand up is to get away from.
Mhm.
I told
That's
my
what I
son.
keep telling him.
I told my son, I go, in life, I go, you have to have a kid and a wife to truly know what's important in life, which is getting away from your wife and kids. You know, and that's what you do stand up. That's the
I
best
hear you.
way.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to
That's
know
why
those things.
Andrew Fox is going places.
But you get so much material from a kid. I mean, my son's been definitely the catalyst for some of my best bits.
Yeah, that's why I'm just a giant child, so I can have
Get it
material
from
of myself. I cut out the middleman. I'm not giving credit
No,
to some
it
child.
would be a lady, Noah. You would need a lady.
All right. Touche, sir. Touche. Now, but at this open mic, I have a lot of people who take the stage for the first time, and they're just, throwing stuff at the wall and trying.
And see, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know exactly what you're leading towards. And I personally feel, because a lot of people, there's a stigma attached to teaching stand-up comedy. Okay.
Right.
And I will tell you this, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but I have to say I'm probably one of the most successful teachers or coaches in the country. I mean, I coach people all over the world, by the way. bestcomedycoach.com. And
well, just because you own the domain doesn't mean
no.
No, they only give it to the best.
I could.
Well, when I'm going to go home and I'm going to register very bestcomedycoach.com.
Good luck.
Oh, is it?
Good luck.
Did you get them all?
I bought up
Touche.
to 6 varies.
No, but I mean, let's see if somebody would sign up for you.
Oh no, no one would ever do that.
But I'm just saying, I have a
challenging you to Mortal
yours.
Kombat or
I'm just.
anything.
But my point is this: you can't teach anybody how to be funny. You can't make somebody funny, but you can certainly expedite the process and give them a strong foundation rather than them going up the first time clueless, clueless to how to properly use a microphone, clueless to how to put together a joke and having so much extraneous fat on that joke to get to the punchline. Just so many things that I can just
How to see a light and then get off stage.
Yeah, very important.
hello, yeah, all that stuff. So that way, when they go to the open mics, they're prepared, they're ready, and they're more confident.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's a trend right now. I think it's just I listen. I started in classes. Jim Gaffigan was in my class. Gary Greenberg, the head writer for Kimmel, was in my class. I mean, people took classes when I started and succeeded.
Right. Yeah, I equate it to boxing, where like
I love boxing, by
Yeah,
the way, and I'm obsessed with boxing.
Oh, yeah?
Obsessed. Yeah, I mean obsessed, expert on boxing.
all right. Well,
So I
then
mean, we should talk about
tell me-
Gennady and
I was actually planning on bringing that up later in the show.
Okay.
But like, you can learn how to box by just getting into the ring, and you'll get knocked out a few times, and eventually you'll figure it out. Or someone can show you how not to get hit in the face, and you'll probably be a better boxer right away and not get knocked down right away.
yeah, or maybe you won't get knocked out.
Yeah,
Or you might be good at it.
Yeah, start good instead of learning, on the ropes.
Yeah.
So, what would be the I know, I'm stealing free class information, but what would you say is the most important piece of advice you could give to a new comic?
Oh man, there's just so many things, but I would say by personalizing your humor, you're just really separating yourself from every other schmo that's doing it. So in other words, I hate when I hear a comic go, "You ever notice that?" Just makes me cringe. It's I notice.
Well,
it's
usually
always
I have noticed the
from
same
your
thing.
perspective.
I get you. I hear you. So like finding your voice is basically.
Yeah, I mean, being as much of an individual as you can and really personalizing your stuff. Yeah.
Okay, that is definitely good advice. Because I know that a lot of open mic comics will ask me, "Are people going to steal my material?" It's like, well, probably not.
No.
But you get to a point in comedy where you're what's funny and not so much the joke. Like if someone were to steal your joke, it wouldn't be as good.
I don't
because
know
it's not
about. I
coming from you.
disagree with that, but
Right.
I do. But I mean, I think a solid joke is a solid joke, and I think you
But
can't confuse the two. I mean, a great joke, well written from beginning to end, that's going to work for just about anybody. But
I agree
But I
with
think
that.
if it's from your voice, there's less of a chance. Or if it's really personalized, then it's giving the less chance of someone stealing it. So in other words, I'll give you an example.
Sure.
I have negative 20 vision. I wear Coke bottle glasses. I wear them in public a lot. Like I'm looking at you, in your glasses. You look good in your glasses. I mean,
Thank you.
they're not like. I mean, I get mixed up for being developmentally disabled when I wear my glasses. I mean, they're that thick. But I'm married. My life's over. I don't need to impress anybody, so I wear my glasses. I don't care. They're comfortable.
Right.
If I go out in the morning and I'm going to the supermarket, I wear my glasses. I don't care. That said, I have a bit about being confused for being developmentally disabled, and it's just a great. Now, who else is going to do that bit?
Right.
It's going to be very tough for someone to steal that bit when it's so.
That's the point I'm making. Like, if you
Yeah.
take a really good Jim Gaffigan joke and I were to tell it.
Well, Jim
I'd probably
Gaffigan,
get
and
it-
I'll say this on record. I mean, I know Jim, and I've known him since he started, and great guy, great comedian. But hey, man, there's a lot of people that say Jim's taking some jokes.
Really?
Oh,
Gaffigan?
really? Yeah.
Huh.
Somebody else says Hot Pocket?
Yeah, I've never heard
Maybe
anyone
not Hot
say
Pockets, but
just say Hot Pockets.
I mean, I have one of my very best friends, Eric Pasoja, that confronted him about it, and got the cold short. I mean, did the same open mic that he did. Next thing you know, he's doing his joke. I mean, listen, it happens, but
Yeah. But
yeah.
I think like take that Hot Pockets joke though. Like I could probably take that and get a good laugh with it, but I will never get the laugh Gaffigan gets on it.
he's
just
so
because-
famous that if you did that
Yeah.
joke, everyone would know you hacked
No,
out
but
and
like,
took it. But
let's say he wasn't. Like, I think what Noah's saying is you can't, even if you steal somebody's material, like I would have to do it
Yeah.
in my style.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of Gaffigan's jokes. Apparently, he steals some, but a lot of his jokes are like very imprinted with him on it. That I think like it'd be very difficult to tell it as
he
well.
definitely has that voice, Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just like Todd Barry has a very similar,
Yeah.
very
iconic voice.
very similar. Now,
And then Mike Birbiglia,
yeah,
who a lot of people say stole a little bit of me and a little bit of Todd and a little bit of a lot of people.
do you
I know Mike
do you
really
walk in
well.
your sleep?
No, but wow, are you like you like really like to stick up for you? Is he a hero of yours or something?
I mean, I like Birbiglia, but
Well,
feel
I know
like
Mike. I
felt
was
like
his.
that
I was
whole
his. Men,
special
I
was
was his.
about
I
his
was
own
his.
life.
No, I mean he's had many specials, and his voice. I mean, he.
Yeah, I could see a similar
The
cadence.
aw shucks guy. Aw shucks. I mean, I know Mike. I've hung
Yeah.
out with Mike. Mentored him when he first came to New York City. Was the only guy he knew. Had him cry on my shoulder. So I think I know Mike. And Mike is not Mike on stage. He's a
Right.
different guy. He's not even close to what you see. The aw shucks guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not who I am on stage.
You're not.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a big nerd. We do a show in a comic book store, and the guy on stage likes attention. The guy off stage is a nerd and is afraid of humans. So I wouldn't say that I'm the same person on stage and off stage.
Yeah.
I doubt Stephen Wright.
I'm
only
just
speaks
saying
in
that, like, I know.
quips.
I know when Mike started comedy. I know when he started hanging out with these other comics and seeing some. You can just see. I mean, I'm not the only one to say this. I'm not the first person to say this.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know Mike Birbiglia. I think
You
he's
would
funny.
know better.
So if you have information about it, I would probably take your word for it. But I am going to make quips during your story, so it's an entertaining podcast. I hope you don't take offense to that.
No, not at all.
And I got to ask you real quick, just because a few of my friends wanted me to ask you about this. Do you remember the Cape May Comedy Festival?
I do.
What are your memories of the Cape May Comedy Festival?
I got paid.
Hey.
You're the one.
I was the one. I was the one that actually got paid. I know that there was this contest and that Jeff Norris won the contest, and I was the judge along with Bob Kephart, who insisted on Jeff winning the contest. Quite frankly, I thought the other guy should have won.
Oh, this is good insider stuff.
But he insisted that Jeff won. I went with it. I didn't want to. I kind of fought tooth and nail. That said, Jeff never got paid.
No,
Jeff's
he
a
did
good
not.
guy.
Yeah.
And definitely, I got paid. I did a seminar there. I was a judge there.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for a couple hours, and I got paid what they said they would pay me, and that's all
good.
I know.
Do you remember me?
I don't.
Drat.
I don't remember you. Sorry.
I won my round.
Were you a check? No.
I was the one that kicked all the buckets off the stage. Nope. All right.
Yeah, man.
Not memorable.
I don't remember. I'm sorry. But how far did you get? To
I made it past the first round. That's as far as I got.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the judging worked prior. I was just in for the
you
finals.
were one of them.
No, but I was one of the judges for the finals.
Oh, I thought you judged my
no,
round.
I don't
Okay.
think so. I don't think
Okay.
so. I don't think so.
And I know you have a show coming up at the library, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to get that plug out there. The 29th?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yes.
29th, yeah.
Friend of the show, Tony Parlente's on that show.
Tony's the best.
Oh, yeah.
Former student as well.
Tony comes to the tap room all the time.
He's a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't be a nicer guy.
Yeah, so that's the Library 4 on September 29th.
It's in Williamstown, is it? Williamstown, New Jersey.
I know there's 4 libraries. I don't remember which library's there.
It's not 2.
It's not 2. It's definitely 4.
That one's down here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Any other big shows coming up?
I'd have to look at my calendar, man. I mean, let's take a look.
Oh, all right.
Let's take a look what I got.
It's time
it's
for
a
Brad
whirlwind.
Trackman checks his phone.
It's
What
a
else? You
whirlwind.
have like doctor's appointments and stuff in there?
Gonna get new glasses.
I'm gonna be in Louisville, Kentucky, doing a corporate.
Oh,
So that
you
should
can't
be
get
fun.
tickets to
Nobody's
that?
invited.
Just Brad.
Nobody's invited. That's a private gig. That's on the 21st. The library on the 29th. The 30th, I'm going to be in Annapolis, Maryland.
You were all over the place.
I'm going to be in Pennington, New Jersey, October. Let's see big gigs. Let's see what I got. I know in March I'm going to be at the MGM in Las Vegas at Brad Garrett's
nice.
Comedy Club. That's a great gig. They give you a penthouse when you perform.
That's pretty
there.
solid.
So it is pretty
You
solid.
headlining out there? You hosting?
I am headlining out
Very
there.
nice.
So yeah, thanks, buddy.
Nice. Good stuff.
Let's see what we got. I'm going to be in Brigantine Thanksgiving weekend, I think.
Okay, there we go.
Wearing brigantine.
I don't know. It's going to be for soldiers or vets or something. A big show for vets in Brigantine. I'm going to be at the Mayo Arts Theater in Morristown, New Jersey. It's a beautiful theater.
Okay.
And that's the 24th. Who
Well,
cares?
is there a place we can find all this information?
Could have went there.
Yeah.
BradTrackman.com.
BradTrackman.com. And where can we sign up for your class?
You can go to the Actors Studio. I don't even know what that's a good question. I should know that, but whatever.
Well, you don't have to take your class.
Yeah.
Why would you? know?
Here's something
Thank
I'd
you.
recommend you add to your class.
ActingHouseStudios.com. ActingHouseStudios.com. And
Knowing your plugs is something you need to add to your class because literally every comic we bring on has no idea where they're going to be tomorrow.
dude, it sounds like every comic you know has taken my class. It's hilarious.
I mean, we run in very similar circles.
I guess so. I guess so. But they're all good. They've all done really well for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, DeSantis is great. Neil is great. I love Primiano.
Oh, yeah. Primiano's amazing.
He's great. I actually have Primiano open for me whenever I can. Like,
Yeah.
if there's a venue that he can fit right into the show, then I do it. So he's, not the cleanest comic. So
No, not at all.
but I love
No
what he-
birthday parties for him.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even notice it.
I
caress
apologize
stranger.
for that.
Yeah, it was just weird. You're like
I couldn't let that stand.
casually touch
it was
your
just
arm
like,
here.
"Ooh." It just went. Shh. But Primiano, I like what he does, man. I like
Yeah.
his thought process with his writing and stuff. He's
He's
a
a
funny
dude.
guy, and he's a good guy too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Friend of the show.
He started coming to the tap room when I was still there a lot.
Yeah.
And I think I've told this to him. When he first started stand up, I was like, I hate this guy. And he's a guy that now I'm like, he's so funny.
He really is. He really is, and he's a great guy. Like I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he has a confrontational bone in his body.
No, I did not like him as a person. I was just like, oh, this stand-up's terrible.
I love
But
it.
he grew so fast and so much.
Yeah.
Dave's tough in 5 minutes because he's going to say something brash without time to win you over
Yeah,
first.
to make up for
You
it.
give him 15 minutes and he's godly. I love Dave. Lots of compliments for Dave this
Yeah.
episode.
I'm dying to see you guys now. Now I'm
Nah, it's
intrigued.
not.
We'll be so over your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, it's really esoteric.
No, we do conventions. We do like comic book and video game conventions.
You know, it's
So
funny. I have a
very
buddy of mine
specific.
that does that too, out of San Francisco, Mike Capizola. I don't know if you know Michael.
I don't know, Mike.
He's an artist. He's a comic book artist, and
Okay.
he was a artist for the San Francisco Chronicle. He had his own cartoon in that,
Okay.
and now he has a show that goes around. I guess
Yeah.
comic. I don't know.
He's the West Coast us.
I guess so.
We're gonna have a fight.
Yeah.
Are we the Jets or the Sharks?
We're white. I imagine
Are
this
you
guy-
guys artists as well?
No.
No.
I would not call myself an artist. No, we're wrestlers on the side.
Yeah.
That's our sidekick.
Oh wow. Well, then I'll say you'll win.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
Bring
a
it
Well,
on.
pussy.
it's fake fighting. We could fake beat him
Yeah.
up.
He'll think he's so hurt. So we also like to geek out on this show, and we do it with the segment called What You Watch and What You Read and What You Playing. We're going to have to do an abbreviated version of What You Watch and What You Read and What You Playing. We're going to start with you, Brad. What have you been watching? What have you been into?
Man, I'll tell you, when it comes to watching TV,
Yeah.
I am my manager. I have a personal manager.
Your wife?
It used to be. My wife used to be the booker of Caroline's on Broadway, and then she did go into
okay.
management. She was my manager, but then once we had sex, it was over. But,
Yeah, that'll happen.
But
It's a good rule.
Yeah. No, my manager is Johnny Lampert with Headline Entertainment, and he handles some good crop of comics. Dan Natterman. You guys know Dan?
I
I do not.
Probably one of the best comics breathing in New York City for sure. I mean, really great. He's done every show possible a zillion times. Very New York. Tom Cotter. I don't know if you guys know Tom. He came in second on America's Got Talent. Was the first comic to come in second.
Okay.
But, you know,
All right,
you're
that rings
talking
a bell. Yeah.
makes major money. Really, really funny. Jeff Caldwell just did Conan last week.
Okay.
But has done every TV show. Good roster. But anyway, Johnny says that like he considers it a privilege to watch TV with me because like he's like
Okay.
he goes it would be like having a catch with Joe Namath or Joe Montana. You know,
You're
he
a
like
professional TV
I'm
watcher?
a professional TV watcher, man. I take it really serious. It's like that's the only thing I'm really good at in life.
Okay. All right.
I love TV. God, I don't know if the question is what am I watching, but
What's your
Yeah,
favorite
what's the
show?
thing that stands out?
What's your appointment television right now? You a Game of Thrones guy? Or
You know, I watch Game of Thrones. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but
Yeah.
I definitely, I enjoyed the season. I didn't love it.
Gotcha.
I don't love it.
No.
I don't love it. I like it. I like Game of Thrones. I'll tell you some shows that I love. I got to look on some Netflix because I've been watching a lot of Netflix. I have a
What's less
terrible
than you
memory, by
binged?
the way. My
That's
memory is
okay.
like just terrible with like.
I mean, the whole podcast is going to be me asking you questions about your own life. So
You
it's
know,
going to make this a bit rough.
I liked. Let's see here.
Welcome back to part 2 of Brad Jeff's
I'm
phone.
sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know. I like.
No.
I don't have my DVR
Brad,
in
that's
front
your
of me.
calendar again.
That's my calendar again.
Hey, Brad, I got it for you.
I got
Did
it.
you watch Mayweather versus McGregor?
Oh, there we go.
Of course.
What'd you think of that?
I thought it was a better fight than I thought it would be.
Agreed.
I knew Mayweather was going to win, and I think he had a great game plan. He knew exactly. You know, it's funny because I saw the press junket that he did prior to the fight, where he just jumped in on Showtime with Paulie Malignaggi and the rest of the cast over there.
Right.
And he just literally like jumped in on a session right after the weigh-in, and he was like, I'm going to take him to the late rounds, and that's what he did.
Yep.
And it was just a smart move on his part. And listen, I give McGregor more credit than I thought. I mean, the guy's a great athlete.
Yeah.
He's not a boxer.
He's not a boxer, and I think did you see the fight well at all?
I did not.
It told one of the best stories I've ever seen, because like in the beginning, like McGregor fights like this, like his arm fully extended, so you can't punch with this hand. So he's just like knocking Mayweather's hands out of his
right.
way and then swinging, which is not how you box.
Yeah, but he's probably.
But that's how you fight.
Yeah, he's probably used to grabbing people, and he's like,
Yeah.
man, I wish these gloves weren't on.
Hey, if that was the case, it would be over in 2 seconds. I
Yeah.
mean, everyone knew that. So
That's
Yeah.
what made it so. Like McGregor wins the first 2 rounds. The third round, Mayweather kind of starts doing stuff to trigger McGregor's like MMA. Like he'll start like turning around, and McGregor would like grab his waist and start punching his kidneys, and the rest like, no, what do you? That's not what happens here. And then they took him to the last rounds, and like as soon as they said like this is officially the longest fight in McGregor's life, you just watch the hands fall and become lead, and
It was target practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Do you agree with when they stopped the fight?
I do. I think it was over. I think personally, McGregor wanted it over. I think
But he was just too tough to admit it.
I mean, I don't know. He was saying he wished that he would have got knocked out. Like he wanted it to be a knockout, and I hear that.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess,
a good visual.
But I mean, I think any fighter wants that. You know, he wants to say, hey, take me out on my feet, but don't let me go. But it was over.
It was
it was a good call. It was a good call.
Intelligently defending
Was
himself.
the first 2 minutes just McGregor starting to lift his leg up and the ref being like, bop, bop, bop? None of that.
Not at
We
all.
don't do that here.
Not at all.
You think if them
There was
legs
no
were,
There was no knockdown.
There was not a single knockdown.
There was no
the
knockdown.
entire-
There was no knockdown.
But like he was out. He was just his hands at his side and just getting punched repeatedly.
But
Like,
then
I'm
you-
not gonna fall.
But now,
I get punched daily.
September 16th, we have the real fight. The fight that every boxing fan has been waiting for about 3+ years, which is Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez. That is a fight. That is
for a
two
moment.
of the best boxers
Yeah.
right now fighting.
For a moment, I thought you were going to say McGregor versus Mayweather in UFC, and I was going to explode.
no.
It's only fair. He should have
Yeah,
to.
exactly. I will give them each $1 billion.
Yeah, whatever.
I heard somebody, I don't know who said this to me, but it was interesting. He said, why not make it, if it goes to the 7th round, it goes to UFC. So he has 7 rounds to knock him out. And that would have been an interesting thing.
Oh man, just watching that clock in the 6th
Yeah,
round. That would
yeah.
have been really interesting.
That
I'm surprised that this went so well because do you remember forever ago, Muhammad Ali fought a wrestler?
yes.
Yeah.
But $100 million, bro. Who cares?
Yeah.
$100 million he made.
You only have to get punched once. Once you get punched, it's your decision if you're alive, whether or not you stay on your feet. I'm not. I'm getting paid.
No, they don't pin them.
Yeah, there's no pin. But there was that fight between Muhammad Ali and a wrestler, and Muhammad Ali's like, this will be fun. And the wrestler's like, I'm going to break his arm. And then they had to change the rules because they were afraid they were going to break Muhammad Ali's arm. And the wrestler spent the entire fight on his back, kicking upwards. And Muhammad Ali's like, I don't know what to do.
That's a kickboxing strategy. When I forever ago, I used to kickbox, and our teacher would show us videos of like tournaments.
Yeah.
And it's a straight up, you just get on your back and have one leg up, and people are like, I don't know what to do with this.
I don't know how to fight
He's just
this.
going to kick me if I go over there.
That's where his legs are. So I guess that's going to do it for what we're watching. We're a little bit behind. Did you watch anything good you wanted to bring up, Will?
We can talk about it later.
Okay.
No, let's talk TV. Let's talk
Let's
TV.
talk TV. You want to
Yeah.
talk TV more?
Yeah,
Did you
that's
remember
the-
what you were watching?
I mean, no, but let's talk TV.
You had
you guys
time to watch some Netflix while we were talking.
You guys tell me some of the shows that you're watching. I'll tell you if I see
Okay.
it.
Have you seen Glow?
I have not seen Glow.
Glow was phenomenal.
Really?
Like, I was not expecting Glow to be as good as it was. I'm a huge wrestling fan,
Oh.
and they are very true to wrestling. Like I said, we're wrestlers, and like especially like what '80s wrestling was, and it was just very much like, oh, you're Asian, you're a samurai. That's just life. You deal with that. That's what you are. And they tell it's not a historically accurate portrayal of what happened in Glow, but it is like what wrestling was.
Did you guys see the Justin Bateman one?
Ozark?
Yes.
I haven't seen that yet.
That was very good.
Yeah, unfortunately my TV is now broken. So
He's great. He
Oh,
is
yeah.
great. And, I have
Very
a buddy of mine
underrated
who's
actor.
a huge showrunner in Los Angeles. He creates sitcoms, one of the biggest in L.A. And Justin was executive producer of one of his last projects on NBC. Told me, man, he goes, that guy is just the greatest guy ever.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to say that now because they're out of contract or not. But but I love that guy. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Good show. I highly recommend that. Good one.
It's definitely different from Arrested Development
Yes.
or Teen Wolf 2. So yeah, I've been watching that. We just
There was
started-
Gypsy. I don't know if you saw that.
Gypsy.
Oh, I saw. I didn't watch it, but I did see it on Netflix.
Excellent.
I'm not.
It's a
what's it
great
about?
show. It's about a psychiatrist who actually gets involved with the exterior people in the people's lives that she's actually counseling.
Okay,
she
so
gets involved.
She's
with
overly invested in her patients.
to a point where she's like, she's like having sex with the person that the person's talking about that's having problems with the person,
interesting.
and she's married, and it's just but it's well done and it's pretty cool. It's a cool show.
Gypsy. That's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I was getting that confused with Shut Eye, the one on Hulu. That's about.
I don't have Hulu.
Oh, with the dude from
Burn Notice.
Burn
Yeah,
Notice.
it's about fake psychics, like, and they
Aren't they all? Isn't that like
exactly? It's about the scam of being a psychic. That's another one like on my to-do list. Let's see. Did you get into BoJack Horseman?
Don't know that. What?
You should totally get into BoJack Horseman.
What is
it's
that
a
on?
cartoon.
Yeah,
It's
so
on
don't
Netflix.
let that off put you.
Yeah, but don't let the cartoon turn it out. It's about a horse who was the star of a sitcom. There's a lot of like animal people, and you just have to get over that.
What channel?
It's
It's a
on
Netflix
Netflix.
show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he had his own like sitcom, and now it's him just living off the residuals of that in Hollywood.
It's a lot of like Hollywood
So-
inside jokes, TV
that
inside
dark
jokes.
side of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like he starts as a stand-up comedian and things like that.
Been there.
Yeah, you should definitely check out BoJack
Yeah.
Horseman.
I'm gonna definitely check that out.
like for a show about cats and horses.
Did you guys see the
destroy
Kathy
your
Bateman thing with the weed or whatever?
That just came out.
that just came out. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't checked that one out either. I like her.
Are you into any of the I guess Marvel ones on Netflix?
It's on the to-do list. I think Jessica Jones was one of the best.
That was
things I've
great.
seen.
I'm caught up. I watched all of them.
I watched all of them too. I'm
Yeah.
just
Feel about
starting.
Defenders.
I'm just starting
Oh, you
it.
just
I'm on
started.
episode 1, but
Did
I
you
mean,
watch Iron Fist?
I did. I loved it.
I liked
loved
it
it.
too.
Loved it. Loved it.
I admit
loved it.
I will say it's not good, but
You know what my
I
favorite
really
one
liked
was?
it.
My favorite one was the which one is the blind attorney?
Daredevil.
Daredevil to me was the best.
Yeah, I agree. I
Luke
like
Cage
Daredevil.
was really good too.
I didn't like the end of it. I thought it got kind of silly.
Mm-hmm.
But I did. I loved the beginning. I thought it was amazing. Like the first.
He's a
half.
badass.
Yeah.
He's great.
I enjoyed Daredevil. I always felt like it was a really good scene that then cut away too early to do something else. I was like, I'm really invested in this court case. Oh, now we're going with the Predator. Or not the Predator, the Punisher.
Predator
All right, this
would
is
be
cool.
great.
Oh, the Punisher's great. Oh, we're cutting away from this
Oh,
now
if
too.
Matt Murdock had to represent the Predator in court.
This past weekend I was just like chilling, and for some reason I did like a whole Steven Seagal like retrospective marathon. I did Under Siege 2. I just did this one was like called The Angry Old Man. I'm telling you, man.
I would say
I love Seagal.
Steven Seagal is an angry old man.
It was great.
It just started out as a comment, and then he started filming a movie.
It was great. He, I don't think you got Dwayne Johnson, but I mean, like, where are the action stars? Where's the action movies
Jason
now?
Statham. I was
Jason
just thinking.
Statham.
There's
I like
not a lot
Jason
of the like
Statham,
sillier. Did you ever see Transporter?
I liked it.
Yeah, I love That's one of my favorite. It's just action, like barely any plot, just
Yeah.
fights.
I love fights.
Crank.
Crank
Is
really like
one of
Crank.
my. Have you ever seen Crank?
I don't know if I've seen
Oh,
Crank.
They inject him.
Oh, I
with-
saw Crank.
Yeah. Injection. Yep.
Yeah, I saw Crank.
That movie.
Bangs are in front of a bus. Oh yeah.
And it was like it's such a terrible like concept, but like it's so much better of a movie than it has any right.
Are you guys watching What About Saul?
I'm actually. I just finished the Netflix of that. I know season 3's out on TV, but I haven't seen
Yeah,
season 3.
season 1 and 2. I watched.
Funny, the guy who plays Gus, from Breaking Bad, the guy who owns the
Gus
the
Friedman? Yes.
the guy. No, I don't know what.
Frayne.
Gus Frayne, excuse me.
He's the guy who owns the chicken place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good friend of mine.
Really?
Well, I mean, back in the day, my
Don't
first
trust him.
my first friend in entertainment. It was pretty wild. I was going to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, commuting, taking the Mount Laurel bus from Medford, living in
Yeah.
Medford still with my parents. I think I was 17 when I started taking classes and going there. And one of my first days, they give you this keychain, American Academy of Dramatic Arts. It's like gold and it shines. And I'm going into the bus at the Port Authority, which is one of the most dreadful places in the world. Even back then, it was horrible. It was a nightmare. And my books, the bus goes in reverse. My books go flying onto this distinctly dressed African-American guy. I mean, he had the craziest shades, weird leather jacket, and it was pretty warm still. A crazy hat, and my books go flying. I go, sir, I am so sorry. He goes, not at all. Like real cool, like not at all. I pick up my books. We start driving. I'd say about 15 minutes into the drive, he taps me on the shoulder. That was back when I had like a Walkman. I don't know if you guys remember that. You know, Walkman.
Remember you having a Walkman? No,
I
I
didn't.
didn't. I just met you today.
So, no, you guys seem young. I don't know if you guys remember Walkmans.
I caught the tail end of Walkman.
See? That's what I'm talking about. So, taps me on the shoulder. He goes, hey, do you know any of the existing areas around Mount Laurel? So I'm naming all these places. I'm naming, you know, Medford, of course, and Marlton, and Cherry Hill, and I get to Lumberton. He goes, that's it, Lumberton. I go, if you don't mind me asking, I go, what are you doing? He goes, I saw a used truck that I want to get in Lumberton. And I go, this back, like way back, and this is 90. This might be 89. I don't even know. I mean, this is way back. And, 89, I'd say. And he goes, I want to buy this truck. I go, how are you going to get there? He goes, I'm going to take a cab. I go, dude, that'll cost you a fortune.
Yeah.
So I took him to this used, and I didn't even know this guy. I take
On the
out
bus?
from the bus.
You took control of this bus.
This guy, like, tries so hard to be funny, it's almost sad. I'm joking. So,
Are you?
I'm joking. So he takes I take my keychain out, and he sees it's American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and he goes, "Are you an actor?" And I go, "I'm trying." And long story short, which I know this is the longest story of the history of stories, but he said, "Hey, man," he goes, "I'm a working actor," and he said, I started in the movie School Days, which was Spike Lee's first film.
Right.
So the second I drop him off back at the bus station, I rent that movie. Sure enough, he's wearing the same outfit that he's wearing on that bus that day.
Because you couldn't Google to see if he was in that movie. You had to actually watch it.
Exactly.
There he is. How about that?
Yeah,
But
to
I
go
mean,
to the
we
West
became
Coast
really,
video.
really good friends. As a matter of fact, we used to party our asses off together.
That's awesome.
And it's ironic that he's playing like this big, Coke dealer, but the dude was like a fiend. He was crazy. He was a great, funny, talented guy.
Yeah.
Amazing actor. Amazing.
Awesome. So we're a little bit short on time. So I'm going to ask you real quick, what have you been reading? Have you been reading anything good?
Facebook, a lot of
good.
Facebook. A lot of Facebook.
Bro.
I think since Facebook came
Technically
out,
a
I
book.
hardly read at all. Yeah, no reading.
It instantly updates, and it's all about characters you care about. So yeah, I understand.
I kind of stopped reading. I mean, I'm writing a book right now, so I mean,
Right,
I'm just,
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm reading that as I'm writing, and just.
Oh yeah,
But
a lot of deleting because that's how I write. Write a full paragraph, hate it, get rid of it.
this is a different type of book because it's his life, so it's a lot of transcribing and a lot of adjusting with what he writes or what he says. But dude, it's great. This is something that is going to be one of the biggest feathers in my cap. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be a New York Times bestseller, probably the first day. To be a New York Times bestseller, you have to send
Brad
10,000
Trackman
copies.
guarantees his book will be a #1 bestseller.
Well, you have to figure the guy has 50,000 subscribers to be a New York Times bestseller, 10,000 copies. Pretty sure we can do that in one day.
It only takes 10,000. We are not reading as a nation. I thought the book market was a bigger market.
You would think, right? But no, that is what it warrants.
Huh. That's good to know.
There you go.
They're all business. And are you playing anything?
Pardon me?
Are you playing anything?
I
know you're not a
playing
big
anything?
video gamer or anything like that, but like playing cards, playing fantasy football, gambling,
Nah.
any schemes?
A heist.
Yeah.
No, man. I am not playing anything other than my kid in basketball.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah,
Sport counts as playing.
Yeah.
But you did play the Nintendo World Championships as part of our pre-show.
Really was of great foreshadowing for this interview.
Well,
Long and torturous. No, I'm joking. I'm totally joking. Am I? No.
you know how when a person's lying, they say, "Trust me." I'm getting that same feeling with "I'm joking" right now.
Oh, you meant for you. Oh.
There you go. There you go.
So, Brad, I have your score here. You scored 11,750 points.
Is that the worst you've ever had?
That puts you in 4th place.
Are you
on the
kidding
scoreboard.
me?
You're the 4th person to do it. So, yes, you are in last place.
Oh, okay.
But you can say that you came in 4th place for now.
No, I'm glad that I came in last place. Like, I figured I'd be the worst.
Hey, that's something. You might as well.
I mean,
First or worse.
Nobody cares about these.
I just want
names.
to tell you that, like, I don't even know how to use the game control, and I thought, like, I was okay.
You picked it up quickly. I mean,
you didn't pick it up right away. You tried to
you
use
kept
it on the table for a while, but
you were handed something that you have never used before, and you beat the first level.
Are you guys
in a
major
few
gamers?
minutes.
Are you both really yeah.
I mean,
I'm not good at video games.
We
I
know
will
a lot
openly
about
admit to
them.
that. Yeah. I like to
but
play them. I know
we have
I'm
to
not
write
good
a
at
lot of
them.
jokes about them for what we do. So
now,
it's
where
part
are you
of the
guys
job.
gigging? Where do you guys do your shows?
Conventions.
Conventions.
That's so cool.
Comic-Con,
Yeah,
Wizard
it's
World.
definitely because you could be very specific about stuff, and people are still going to follow your material.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an audience of
Is it
people-
seasonal or is it like constant?
It's busier in the summer.
Yeah.
That's when more
It's
conventions
funny because for
happen.
me, stand up summer's usually like the slower time.
Yeah.
It can be anyway.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite because our crowd runs younger, and kids have school.
Do you do colleges and universities and stuff?
No,
Have you tapped that
we-
market?
I mean,
we have, but
we do the
it's-
And you
conventions
guys
that-
work together as a team?
Yes.
Yes.
That is so cool.
Yeah, but
That is so cool.
Yeah, we each perform separately, and then we do a bit at the end.
How
where
do
we
you
take
go about
questions.
getting booked in these comics? Do you have an agent, a manager? Do you book yourselves?
We
do you?
book ourselves.
We booked ourselves for quite some time.
So you must have some tape, right?
We have some tape that we send out. The thing about the convention scene is they do not understand comedy, so it's a lot of one, we have to get our foot in with something and then bring up comedy a lot of the time. So it's like, this is a video game convention. It's like, we do a video game show. We also do stand-up. Bring us in. We'll do our stand-up show. We'll do this video game show. It'll be great.
I see. So you you merge the two together. That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
And the issue is the average person does not understand comedy. So it's a lot of so you guys do stand-up. So you don't need a stage or a microphone or anything like that. It's just you talking, right? People can stand and watch.
It's
right?
amazing how
No,
people.
guys.
I get that too. I mean,
my absolute favorite is when they say, do you have a microphone? They say yes, and it's attached to a podium. Those are the best shows.
I've had that.
Yeah, it's like, all right, I guess
I've
I'll
had
do a
that.
political speech. Yeah, so that's what we do. It's a very niche market, but the fact that our audience is someone that people tend not to write for, and those who do tend to do it in an insulting way. One of the biggest shows right now is The Big Bang Theory. And people will say, oh, it's the time of the geek. We have all this stuff that's for geeks. The Big Bang Theory is not for geeks. It is very insulting to people who have these hobbies because it paints us all in this negative, disconnected world. And we're not. We're just average people that happen to have a hobby. And I, as a comedian, understand your hobby, and I'm going to tell jokes about your hobby, not about you as a human. Not about making fun of how we're.
But it's a
perceived.
niche audience.
Yeah, it's very
absolutely.
very niche.
I think that's really
Yeah.
cool.
And
I mean,
loyal.
do you find it limited?
It's limiting in that if we were to do the same jokes at a comedy club, people will look at us funny.
I'm sure. I mean, you really need to find your audience for that type.
Because
of...
when me and Will get together and
when
and
you go to
write,
this tap room, do you just work on your material for that, or do you
I'll
have
float
other
I'll
material
float
too?
some stuff in if I have something coming up.
Do you do regular stand-up?
Yeah, I
as
do
well?
regular stand-up as well. But the
How
tap
long
room
have you
is-
guys been doing stand-up?
I've been doing it for 12 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a long time.
8.
Yeah, you were probably at 8 because you came in when I was doing it 3. But for example, we got booked, or I got booked. Will wasn't there. I got booked to do a Lego convention.
Awesome.
So I was just doing Lego jokes at this mic, and they would get a mixed kind of and I was like, if you guys loved Lego, would you love this? And they were like, probably. I was like, all right, cool. And I didn't do enough research because nobody laughed at any of my stuff. And
That's why.
And someone came up to me afterwards and said, by the way, it was like nails on a chalkboard hearing you say the word Legos. And I was like, what? It's like, it's Lego. We don't like hearing the word Legos.
Are
It's
you
wrong.
kidding me? Ow.
But yeah, but that's that's a mistake I shouldn't make because my audience is constantly dealing with crap like that, and I know it sounds insignificant, but the connection I'm promising a crowd is I understand the thing you like. And if I come out and say, "Hey, I love Legos too,"
Lego my Legos.
like I'm being kind of insulting to them.
I get it.
So that was what Brad was reading.
A rant by Noah.
A rant that I just did. We got to play a game. We got to play a game really quickly. It's time for host versus guest versus audience. We end all of our games all of our podcasts with a game. This week I brought my DVD. Why not? This is the +2 Comedy DVD. It looks like a Nintendo cartridge. It's been banged up.
Yeah, it looks real
but
crappy.
the DVD looks fine. So that's our stuff. Brad, what did you bring?
I brought my CD.
Oh, it's in
Sorry,
much
I'm not
better
as
condition
Google.
than ours.
It's in better condition.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
So the way this game works is you're going to defend your prize and try to win everyone else's prizes. But to play host versus guest versus audience, we need an audience member. But they need to bring a prize for us to win since we put up these amazing prizes.
Gotcha.
What did you guys bring this week? I see a Spider-Man lucha mask. That's pretty awesome. Any other takers?
I was promised floor garbage.
Yeah. No?
Well, what did you have
No.
that's floor garbage?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
she had a
that's-
gift
you're
card,
gonna put it
but
up?
she decided not to put it up. She's against it now. We
Well,
have
that's
we
not
have a
for
lucha
you
mask.
to decide.
Well, if you're the only taker, then by all means, please come up here.
I was trying so hard to not let Jeff get on this podcast,
Try as you might.
but
I'm
here he is.
What's up, nerds?
What's going on?
I'm gonna squeak this chair as much as possible.
Did
for
you
as
turn your
long
mic
as-
on?
Is your mic on?
No, it is not.
You should turn your mic on, or else the show won't work.
No, I'm
No,
pretty
it's
sure it's
not
on,
on.
and I'm seeing the bars. I thought.
Don't look at our equipment.
I'll turn you up a smidge. There you go.
Should I do a test? Testing,
There, you're
testing,
good.
testing.
All right,
Am
look,
I good?
look, Mister. I have a successful podcast.
Yes.
I
It-
have 3.
Introduce yourself. We don't have time for this banter.
Talking Nog absolutely counts.
Okay,
as
we're
a
moving
yearly
on to the show. You don't get to introduce yourself
Talking
anymore.
Nog, SoundCloud.com/Talking Nog. It's the
That's
world's
Jeff.
only
We have
eggnog
to do a
podcast.
show.
Jeff
Guys,
Stormer.
3 minutes.
It's just him. Don't say guys.
3 minutes. We got to get going.
All right.
It is Google Commemoration Day. So we're going to play Google Feud. The way this works is I'm going to give you part of a Google search. You have to give me one of the top 10 auto-completions for a Google search. Does this make sense, Brad?
Not at all. But I'll try. I'll try.
Have you used Google?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, then this should work out okay.
Okay.
We're probably going to have...
I have a feeling I'm going to come in fourth on this one, too.
I'm not in it. I'm just the host.
But
Okay.
somehow still fourth.
All right, so here's part of the Google Feud. I accidentally ate. What would be an auto-completion for that Google would suggest?
You know, how, like
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will, we're starting with you.
I
accidentally ate.
a penny.
A penny. It happens.
I guess I don't know. How you,
Not on there. Not on there. Brad?
Poison.
That's not
a
good. That'd be a
concern.
thing to Google. Not on there, though. Jeff Stormer?
A spider?
I mean, according to Snapple, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like 8 times in your
300
life.
pounds of spiders.
Not on there.
You're
Top,
just spelling all these
the top answers are gluten, a maggot,
wrong. Ew.
close, I guess, mold, tinfoil, pork, moldy cheese, meat, ants, poop. And number 1 is moldy bread. Moldy bread.
I knew it.
Hold on there.
I knew it.
All right, we're going right to the
I think I
fast
get
round.
this better now, though.
Okay, you get this better. We're going to start with you this time.
All right.
Okay.
And it's very simple. Ralph. Ralph.
Mouth.
Mouth.
Not bad.
Not on there. Sorry, no Happy Days fans on Google.
Oh, my God.
Ralph. Jeff? Ralph?
Wiggum?
Wiggum. I don't know how to spell
WIGGUM.
UM? Not on there.
Really?
Yes. Will.
Loren.
Oh. That's great. That's definitely on there.
You're not. Just look what they are. You're not going to spell this.
It's the number 1 answer. That's good for 10,000 points. Machio, Thatcher, Ralph Wilson Foundation, Angel, Finesse, Nader, Waldo Emerson, Travass, Ralph Travass, and then Ralph Travass' wife, which is higher than Ralph Travass. And Ralph Lauren is the number one answer.
Of course it is. I'm such an idiot. Damn it.
That's good for 10,000 points. We're going to go one more round. Here we go. Jeff, starting with you. How do you get
a girlfriend?
How do you get a girlfriend?
Stop Google searching.
Not on there.
Really?
Yeah, I'm surprised too. Will?
How do you get to the airport?
Ooh, directions. Not on there.
Ooh.
STD.
Ooh.
STD.
Sex. You'd have to have sex.
That I'm sorry, but you were too vague. Because here are the top 10 answers. Hepatitis C, shingles, herpes, ringworm, a UTI, rid of bed bugs, mono, scabies, bed bugs, and number one answer is pink eye. How do you get pink eye?
Damn it.
That was a lightning round of
I
Google
struck
Feud.
out, man.
That's okay. It's a tough game. But that means with 10,000 points with one correct answer, Will is our winner.
Yay.
Will actually is a wrestler, so he could actually use that lucha mask.
Yeah, we got a new character.
Jeff, you have
Spider-Man who
you
let
have
himself
5
go.
seconds to say something and then leave.
PartyOfOnePodcast.com, allmyfantasychildren.libsyn.com, SoundCloud.com/TalkingNog, TalkingNog@AOL.com for all of your eggnog questions, audio clips, and pictures of you drinking eggnog.
All right, go. Thank you, Jeff, for coming up here. Brad, we got to get out of here. Anything you want to plug?
BradTrackman.com. Also, I am teaching a class at the Punchline Comedy Club, which is...
Oh, I didn't know you were doing another class.
Yeah, so Punchline Comedy Club. You could just go to their website, phillypunchline.com or something. And then, of course, this acting studio, whatever the place in Medford.
They already heard it. They heard it first.
They're all vague about
And,
it.
yeah, that's it.
And what was
man.
the other doing name? Best comedy coach ever?
Oh, best comedy coach. bestcomedycoach.com.
All right. Will, anything to add?
No, we
No
have time for Pineapple
time. Be sure to give us 5 stars on iTunes, 5 stars on Stitcher. Vote for us on podcastland.com. Makes the podcast of the month. Also, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. What? Upcoming shows include on the 14th, we are TVA because a guest canceled. On the 21st, we are going to have the host of Peg Warmers, a toy podcast. And then on the 28th, we're going to have Rich Feinberg Connor, a pro wrestler and the host of Wrestle Rock Radio on the show. We would like to thank Ben Affleck for making the show possible and keeping the streets of Gotham City safe. Apologies to Jeffrey Michael. This is the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. Thank you guys so much.